So this is a small app I built with FlutterFlow, but it does something very special. So let me show you that. So right here I have a list of items. So I will pick this one here and drag it all the way here. So that's cool, right? So here's something else. I can pick this one and drag it here. See, it just, it works like magic. And even if I want to get everything back to its place, I will pick this one, take it back, and I will check this one here and take it back. So this is exactly what we call draggable widget and drag target. And of course, in this video, I will show you everything that you need to know to use this functionality inside of your app so you can make it even better. So what are we waiting for? Let's jump right into it. So before we get started, I want to actually explain something very important to you. So what you have seen in the intro were just visual changes. So we take items from here and then we drop them in the right container, but you have to keep in mind that you might actually have a Suapabase project where you may have a database which we have vegetables and stuff like that. But the problem is that we save the data in Suapabase if it was somehow going to be permanent. All right, so if we have an account, we save it there. If we create a new vegetable, we save it there. But the problem now is when we drag things here and there, though all these changes will only happen like on this page. So you might be asking yourself, if we cannot save the changes to Suapabase, where do we save the changes? So whenever the change is visually, like just in what the user sees, we use the states. So states, as we have already seen in the FlutterFlow for Beginners course in our community, we've seen that states are for like temporary changes. If you are making a small change like dragging an image or a vegetable in the right container, that's just a temporary change. You won't be looking at that for like your entire life. No, just like a small change that happens temporary, and when you close the app and they turn it on again, that change will go. So if this is the case, if the change is temporary, we can just use the state, and it is more practical than using Suapabase because you can just keep dragging things here and there and save the changes each time. If you want to save changes in Suapabase, you can have a button that takes what you have changed in the state and save it to Suapabase. Maybe that will be a part of this video, so we will see. So this is the most important part I want you to know. So let's actually go ahead and set up some states before we get started. So when it comes to setting up a state, we have to take into consideration all the variables here. So we're going to first have here, so right here, we are going to have a list of rows, a list of vegetables and fruits coming from Suapabase, but we're not going to be doing a backend query, at least not on this row. So when I click on this container, so it's called items. Of course, you can build this project yourself. So on this item, on this container, we are going to have a backend query. We want to actually use like an app stage, all right, or constants. So maybe we can use app state so we can save all the data there. So we're gonna have let's say items here, and it's gonna be, so we mostly need a list of like we need a list of links, right? It's gonna be a string, so we can actually go with list of image paths. So I prefer image paths, so let's actually have image path, but as I told you, can have links or image paths. So you can actually start with whichever you like. So you can click on create, and then we can actually fill in some, we can start adding items here and there. So I will fill in this list and I'll come back to you. So now that we have a list of 5 fruits and vegetables that are mixed, so we can actually come here and click on the row right here. And so you cannot do it in the backend query, you have to do it from here. So you say items, and then you click here, you go to the app stage, you click here and then confirm, click on confirm, and then okay, now you will have a list of items here and there. They are mixed between fruits and vegetables. So this is actually it. So this is coming from an app stage. So keep in mind, as I told you, the changes happen visually. So if we check a fruit from here, so this is coming from an app stage. So whatever is in app stage will show up here. So if you take this from here, put it there, what happens is that you are going to change the app stage. And if you remove this from the app stage, it will be removed from here automatically, which will be taken care of later. So the thing is that we still have, like, if we put some few items here, we need to know them. So how the app can know that is by having another app stage. Sorry, you can have an app stage, or to be honest with you, I would love to just stick to the pay stage. We can even do it for this one if you like. So you can actually turn it from an app state to a page state, all you have to do is to click on the the page here and add an app state. You can click here and say items. So, and you can just have image paths. You can say a list, and then you can just have 3 or 5 links of random images. You can go to Google, find any fruit or vegetable, copy its image link, so the image link, and paste it here. So here I've already added them, so I can click on confirm, and then you come here to the row and then change where it is coming from an app stage. You can go to page stage, click on confirm, save, and that's it. So you can actually get rid of the app stage if you don't want that. And again, the reason why we moved from app stage to page stage is because those changes happen only on this page. So we might as well just stick to the page stage. So now we have items. We have done like the stage for the first one. Right now we still need to know the the fruits. And because if you drag something here, so the stage of this one has to change. So if we change the stage, this will be changed. So we have to have that stage in the first place. So you can just say fruits. So fruits is going to be a list of image paths. At the beginning, it will be empty, of course, because at the beginning, when the user opens this page, there will be no fruits nor vegetables. All right. And here we see just a list. It's going to be an image path. Click on confirm. Now we have the states. The last states we need is the border. So now you see that the border now is black, but this has to be black only when we drag something here. We have seen this in the intro. So if you pick something here and you hover over this while holding that item, this will be black. But when you take it off, it will not be black. So the color will change. So we say, let's say, fruits on. So all right, so I think that it's not so to make it we will just say border. We can say border color. All right, fruits border color. So it's going to be a color. By default it will be a white, which is this one. All right, and we will need to do the same, but for vegetables border color for this one here. So now we have prepared all the states. Right now we can actually go ahead and get to work. So right now let me introduce you to the dragged and the drag target widgets. So now we want to actually understand what they are before we actually go to use them. So type in drag and you will find 2 widgets. So let's talk about the drag target. All right, so this it's called drag target. This is where you drag items. All right, so this is if you have, for example, in this container, we will have all this container wrapped into this drag target. Why? Because this will allow us to drag items from here into here. So drag target is meant for dragging items into. So this is the target where you put items into. All right. So what about dragging this item, this image, for example? That is where the other widget comes into play, which is the draggable. So the draggable is a widget that can be dragged. So that's why it is called draggable. So whatever you put inside, so this is like a column. If you put something inside of it, like an image, then this image will become draggable. All right, you can actually drag it if you like. All right, and if you put, for example, a container inside this, so you have a container that is inside the drag target, which means that this image, since now it is draggable, can be dragged into the container. All right, so, but if you remove this the container from the drag target, then you will never be able to drag the image into the container. So in order to drag something into the other thing, you must wrap each one of them in the right widget, whether it is a drag target or draggable. So this is just a small introduction, but we still have to understand their actions because we have some actions to do. So when you go to the drag target, go to the logic here, open up, you will see that we have 3 triggers. All right, so we have on drag accept, on drag enter, and drag exit. So we will use 3 of these triggers. So when you drag something here, what you should do. So if we drag an item from here, so what you should do, of course, you will check that fruit from this box here. So you will do that. You will do the change in terms of states. So you can see the change visually. We will do that later. Just don't worry, because right now I'm just explaining things to you. All right. And on drag enter. So when you are dragging something onto this container, then the color here will change. You see the color will become black. When you drag here, when you go out, it will become white, which is exactly what this trigger is used for. And same goes for exit. I hope you have got the idea. So when you go out of that box, let's say you are dragging a fruit here and then you went out, what happens? So for each trigger, you need to have an action. All right. So when you go to the draggable, which is the item that you drag, let's look at the actions. So we have also sometimes like the same thing, right? On drag complete, and it's like if you can just sit down and think about it, we will understand every single thing. So right now we just made a small introduction to these widgets, and you know at least what they are. So right now let's move on and do this, the real tutorial. So these two introductions were very essential because one was meant for having the states where we can actually work, and second, which is this one where we have introduced you to these two widgets because they are very important. So without any further ado, let's actually jump into the real tutorial. So right now, let's actually go ahead and do the tutorial. So what we are going to be doing here is that when you go to the image, as I told you, the images has to be draggable. We have to drag them. All right. So we are going to wrap them into a draggable widget. All right. So now they are wrapped into. So which means that each image here it can be dragged, but we don't have to forget that here in these containers there have to be images. All right. Of course, at the beginning, there will be not that will be visible unless you drag something here or here. So we will open up the fruits and we paste the row. Of course, we will change something later. We paste the row, and then maybe you can click on the container and choose the child position to be the top corner. So, but don't forget that when we were using items, if you open the items and go to the row, and then go to here, you see that this is coming from the items page stage, because this box is meant for items, but this box here is not meant for items. That's why we have to click on the row and they go all the way here, and instead of keeping it items, we'll have to change it to the other page stage we made, which is called fruits. Click on confirm, and here you should say you make fruits. All right, so add another S. All right, so you can just distinguish that, and the same goes for the vegetables. So each one has to be linked to the right state. As I told you, whatever you see, or like the changes to this container, this one and this one will be controlled by the states. So that's why we link each one to the right state. So click on the vegetables now, and then link it to the vegetables state. So we can vegetables. And add another S just for changes to be saved. So right now we have linked each one to the right thing. So and you may be asking me why you have made those images here also draggable. So because I showed you before that I can drag something back to its place. It's like I have showed you that before. So right now let's actually go ahead and do the actions. So now, like, we prepared a few things, but we still have to do the logic. So when you drag something here, so like when you go to the draggable, like you mostly won't have any actions to do, because when you drag this item here, I want to ask, like, when you click here and when you drag this one somewhere, so like if you let go of it, it will come back to its place. So nothing changes. So when things change only when you drag this image here or here. So which means that we have to wrap this first, like we have to wrap it into a drag target, because the container is a target. Wrap into drag target. All right. So now let's start with the fruit. So this target. So let's actually click here. And by the way, I think that we missed something, which is the draggable. When you click on it, you have to provide something. So now they will ask you the properties, like the type. What are we now dragging and dropping? We are dragging and dropping images, like image paths. So we click here and we go to image paths, and they will ask you for the value. So what is the value of this image? So this image is coming from a backend query or a dynamic children. So the value will be a variable, and you click on items, and click on confirm. All right. So when you click on this one here, you actually do the same here in vegetables. So you click on this option and then you go select image path and then you actually go vegetables. All right. So like, because when you drag something, so you are not dragging data. So we are not dragging data from place to another. So we go fruits again, click on draggable in the fruits. We make it an image path. So now we are in the fruits. All right. So now when it comes to the drag target, it also has the same. So now since we are now dragging image paths, the drag target has to accept something. So you are dragging an image path, which means that the drag target will only accept an image path because that's what you are dragging. All right. So click here and we say image path. So you are dragging an image path and your target is accepting an image path. Click on the same. So like right now we can actually get to work. So on the fruits here, so the first one is the fruit. We go to actions, we click here and we say on drag accept. All right, when you accept it. So what that means is that this one is draggable, when this one or when this container accepts it, so when you drag it here and let go of it, it will be accepted here in this container. So what happens? So here we actually have the first action. We say accept the fruit, as you can see on accept. So like accept the fruit means that we are going to change the state. So accepting something, so what you are going to be accepting, so you are going to be adding a fruit into the state. Click here, we say add to list because you are accepting something. So what is the thing that you are accepting? You see the dragged data. All right, whatever data that have been dragged into that drag target, which is the fruits container, will be added. But don't forget that if you add something here, you have to remove it from here. So back in this action, so if you add something to the fruits, that same thing has to be removed from the items, that same thing. All right, so we have to say remove from list, and then we click here and we say, so if you remove something from the items, you add it to the fruits. So whatever you remove from items, which is here, you add it to the fruits. That makes logic, like it makes sense. You remove something from here, you add it here. So when you go to the drag target for vegetables, when you accept, like when the vegetables accept, so we say, all right, page state, we are gonna choose the vegetables. So we are now accepting, we are going to add to the list. What do we add? The data that we have received. And if we have received the data, we have to remove it from the items. All right, if you receive something, you have to remove it from the items. So all right, we are going to remove from list and click here, and all right, so the same thing you accept, the same thing you remove. So let's see if we have any errors. So we have base state component items in home has an invalid name already in use. So you can actually add an S here. Click on confirm. So hopefully that will fix the problem. So we have fixed it. Right now, let's go ahead and test this. And of course, we are going to add even more things later on. So here we are in the test mode, and we have forgot to do something very important, because right here, these are just images. And as you can see, when it comes to the path, we forgot it. So now, since each one is coming from a backend, from a state, we can click on items and click on confirm. All right. So when it comes to the other one, so this one is going to come from vegetables. So we click here. So of course you want to copy this link, because right now when we have actually, so here we don't have a default variable. So we have to have a default variable. So this one's coming from vegetables. So just click on vegetables and paste the default link so you can see something. The same goes here. So fruits, and then paste that there. And now we are back into the test mode. Click on refresh. So right now, as you can see here, we have vegetables and fruits. So now here, as you can see, since this one is dragged, like we are now dragging it somewhere. So I will push it here, as you can see. So what happened right now is that, so hopefully we have this. So in the items before we had 4 items, and we are only going to focus on these 3. So now the vegetables, we have added something here. So I would add this one here. See, it went from the items here all the way here. So I drag this one to the other one. You see, it went from here to the fruits. So now this is where the states comes very handy. Like I will actually take something from here and drag it anywhere I want. So when it comes to dragging it anywhere we want, that's another topic. We will talk about it later. But right now we have tested it and again, like when I click on refresh, since all the changes happen only on a page stage. When you refresh, when you close the app and reopen it, everything will come back to its original stage. So you can drag fruits here and vegetables right here. All right, so see now what, as I told you again, this one, like when it comes to dragging, so okay, open this. So Draggable doesn't have any action right now. So all the changes that you have seen, they were coming from this action logic. All right, the drag target. So whenever you drag something here, it will be accepted. So we drag it something here and put it here. When it was accepted, this container has taken it, or in other words, it has become it has gone from the items app stage to the vegetables app stage or the fruits app stage. That's why you see those changes. All right, so right now you may be asking how you can get something back and how you can move one, like you check one here and put it back. So if I put something here, then it will come here because this container has accepted it, but it hasn't been removed from here, right? So we can actually do the same, right? So we can do that infinitely. All right, so of course we can so we have to scroll if we want to see the other one, but anyway, like as you can see, we have a lot of fruits here, but the problem is that we don't want to keep a copy there. So that's what we are going to look at in the next part. So if you want to move things between fruits and tables, and vegetables, so we click here and then, so what have we done here? So when we accept the fruit, we add it to the fruit, obviously, and we will remove it from the source. So before, the only source of items were the items stage itself, but right now things can actually come from the other container. All right, so if we are now talking about fruits, if you add something to the fruits, remove it from the items, and also just make sure that you also remove it from the vegetables. All right, because so if it was from the items, it will be removed. If it was from the vegetables, it will be removed. So the key here is to keep it only in one place. All right, so remove it also from the vegetables, so the drag data. So what happens here is that you keep it in one, like since now you are accepting a fruit, you keep it as a fruit and you remove from the other ones. It will, in reality, it is not on it is not on both of them, it is only in one of them. But when you remove it, so if you add this action or this parameter, it won't hurt. It's like you are just making sure that it is not here, neither here. You are just making sure. So when you are making sure that it is not here, so you only keep it in one place. So we do the same for the drag target, as you can see here. So since now we are, so click on the field, and then we just want to make sure that you are accepting a vegetable, you add it to the vegetables, but you remove it from the fruits as well. So this will actually depend on your scenario. So I keep in mind that when we say remove twice, like if it is on the items, it will be removed, and if it is not on the fruits, we will just make sure that it is not there. So like your app will not crash, nothing will be wrong. So here you can actually click on refresh, so you can actually see the result. Of course, we still have to do one more thing, and we will do it later. So sometimes you have to click many times on instant reloads for your changes to take place. So here we are going to distribute these fruits here and there. So now I will click here. See, now I can drag things anywhere I want, and I will not have any copy. See, so as I told you, when you actually do this action of adding, so when you accept the drag data, when you add it to just one list, so here you are adding it only in one list and you are removing it from the others. Just make sure that you only have it in one place. But maybe you're asking yourself, what if I want to get it back? See here, why it doesn't go back? Why? Because this container is not a drag target. So these two containers can accept, but this doesn't. So let's actually go ahead and see how we can actually be able to get items back to where they were before. So now let's actually see how we can actually get things back to the items table. So the items container. So now since we want to get things back, we want to drag them back, this has to accept. All right, so we actually do wrap it into a drag target. So it becomes a drag target. And right now, when it accepts, like when it accepts something, so if an item, let's say you have received a fruit from here or a vegetable from here or any item from either of them, you will accept it, you will check it, and you remove it from the other places. All right. So again, accept item. So what do? Is you go to the page stage. All right, page stage, and then you add the two items. So now you are accepting it, you add it to the items. All right. So here we have a problem because this drag target only accepts a string. We have to forget to set image path. So now it can accept image paths. All right. So now when you say, we go back here and you say add to list, click here. Now you can actually add it. So now you have received or accepted an item. Make sure it is not somewhere else in the app, just to make sure. All right. Remove it from the fruits and vegetables. Again, it will be on only one of them. It cannot be on two of them. It can only be on one of them, but you just need to make sure. All right. I really have emphasized on that because some people will say, hey, why do you add two back? But you know, it won't hurt you. Just add it twice. So you just make sure that that your item that you have been accepted, like it won't be in another place in your app. So right now, let's actually click here and distribute this somewhere. So I can actually, so that worked very well for us. But here I want to get it back. You see. So, and the good thing is that they follow in order. All right. So you see here now it's like a real app. It's a real dragging and dropping. So now you may be asking yourself, how do we change the color of the border when we are dragging and when we are in, when we are out? So this has to change. So let's actually go ahead and see how we can do that. So when it comes to the border color, we already have a stage. So the stage will take care of the border color. So we click on the container this time. All right. And go to the border color. It's a gray all the time, but now it will change depending on whether you are dragging something into it or not. So, all right, it's gonna be, so this one is for fruits. All right. So you can have white as a default if you like. So when you go to the vegetables, this you will link it just to the other stage of vegetable border color, and then you give it white if you like. No, it depends. So click on confirm. Now here we go back to the drag target, and now we have a trigger on exception. So but if you enter, let's say you are dragging something from here and you entered some of these containers, you hovered over it, you didn't let go, you just dragged something over it. All right, what happens? So we go to the enter, we say we change color. All right, sorry, so change color. So change happens in the page stage, and the page stage controls the color of the container by default. All right, so page stage, which was it's going to be for fruits, I think. Yes, it's fruits. So now when you hover over the fruits, you make the color what? You make it not a variable, of course. You just make it gray. This one here. You want to copy this, but also when you hover out of it, when you exit. So when you exit it, what happens is that you make it white. So if you enter, you make it actually, you make it. When you enter, you make it gray. We've seen it here, but when you exit, you make it white. So you can actually go ahead and do the same for these things. So even if you see it in red, so it was red here, but don't worry, because we have no problem here, just like a UI problem. So we have enter. So when you enter the vegetables, of course, base stage, click here and click vegetables border color, and you set the value to what? To gray. Copy that same action, add it to the other trigger. Click here, paste it, click here, and when you exit, this time when you exit, you make it white. All right. So let's actually go ahead and test these things out and see what's gonna happen. So right now these are white. So like I will just drag this one here. You see. Now I am actually on it, so it will actually just go away. See? So I can drag this one here, but the problem is that like when you when the container accepts it, it stays gray. So we have to come back and here. So after acceptance, so when you accept something, so we made sure that like if I have accepted a vegetable, of course I add it to the list. I make sure it's not anywhere else, but also I have to get the color back. All right. So we have accepted a vegetable. We have to get the color back. All right. Set the value to white. All right. Because you have already accepted, no need to stay gray. So the same goes for fruits. If you have accepted a fruit, all right, so a fruit, we made sure that it's not anywhere else. We just need to go to the fruits and then set the value to white. So that's the only change we have to make. All right, click. So let's go back here and see how it works. So right now, let's actually go ahead and try. So now we are on it. So exit, enter, exit, enter. So click here. Once it is accepted, it gets the color back. You see here. Now, like, what else do you want? Like, we have actually made a working drag and drop a small app, and there is only one thing that I want to actually tell you that is very important, but unfortunately it didn't work well for us because we have a problem. So let me show it to you. So when it comes to the thing that I was actually talking about is that what if you are using Suapabase? So when it comes to using drag and draggable stuff using Suapabase, it's a whole other topic. So if you want me to make a video about it, make sure to please go to our community using the link below this video. You can click here, ask any question, and make sure to click here and make it a question. All right, so that it goes directly to the category, so I can make video. So this doesn't work just for drag and draggable. It can work for anything that you want. So if you have any problem, go to our community, ask any question, and not only me, anyone in the community will actually try their best to help you out. So this is actually a community for just us developers, where we can actually talk about FlutterFlow and how we use it every single day and what problems we are facing. So if you actually care about that, make sure to use the link below, and we'll be so happy to have you with us. And of course, don't forget that in the classroom tab, we have a series of courses. It starts with the FlutterFlow for Beginners course for completely free, and it's called a FlutterFlow Mastery, which will definitely help you master almost every aspect of FlutterFlow, from building a complex online app to AI apps, all the way to offline apps. It's like a very good series, and I made it for people to master FlutterFlow as fast as possible. And in case you have encountered this problem of scheduled maintenance, it means that school is not supported in your country. So just make sure to use a VPN to change your location, and you can actually have access to it. So my friend, I hope you have actually learned something useful in this tutorial. And if you ever need any help, or maybe you have a question, or you need other people to interact with that are also building apps with FlutterFlow, you are always welcome to join our community, and you can do so by using the link below. And of course, don't forget that if you want to master FlutterFlow, we have a FlutterFlow mastery list in the classroom tab, so you can get started with the FlutterFlow for Beginners course for completely free, and you can follow up, and you will definitely master FlutterFlow in terms of weeks. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you inside the community. Again, use the link below so you can join for free.